Well, if you travel on Via trains, you may be used to delays. Well, it's not unusual for trains to run behind schedule. Tonight, we're learning that will become a more common occurrence. Train travel along Via's busiest corridor is taking longer because of new speed restrictions. CN, which owns the track, says there are issues with the number of axles on Via's new train fleet. Via says CN's infrastructure is to blame, and this will impact those traveling through Montreal, Ottawa, Kingston, Toronto, and Windsor. CTV's Katie Griffin is here with the latest. Katie.
Well, Patricia, Via Rail says these trains are safe. They've been operating for years and they've never had an issue. They also say they don't know what prompted this sudden directive last Friday. It was a long weekend and one of the busiest for train travel.
At Ottawa's Via Rail station, those picking up passengers playing the waiting game.
Arrival time was supposed to be 11:04.
His sister's train from Montreal delayed by more than an hour.
It was fine. It was just very long to get in. Yeah, but we survived. But it was very slow at some point.
The reason? New speed restrictions on the tracks.
They were very concerned about the possibility that the gates and flashers wouldn't come down in time to protect motorists.
CN owns the tracks and says it's now requiring all of Via's new Siemens-built Venture train sets to operate with 32 axles, not the current 24, saying in a statement, this is a safety issue, both for the trains and their passengers, but also for pedestrians and motorists at crossings, adding it advised Via Rail 3 years ago that operating at a 24-axle count could create issues. This has proven to be the case.
This was a complete surprise to us.
Via says the directive on the Friday of a long weekend was unexpected and that the issue isn't with their trains, but with CN's infrastructure.
We have documentation that shows that they approved the 24-axle trains on their infrastructure. What they did say is they reserve the right to monitor it. We have heard nothing in any recent documentation that shows that there's any kind of security risk.
Via isn't adding axles or cars, instead slowing down through specific crossings on the Quebec-Windsor corridor, leading to delays of 30 to 60 minutes for some passengers.
The problem is that Via trains usually operate at up to 160 kilometers an hour, and now they're required to slow down to about 72 kilometers an hour at most of the grade crossings. And that means lots of delays.
These delays are expected to continue until this is figured out. Both CN and Via Rail say they're focused on solutions, but what that is isn't clear because they disagree about what the issue is. As for passengers who have been delayed by more than an hour, they're entitled to a travel credit. Patricia.
All right, CTV's Katie Griffin live for us tonight. Thank you.